7, and the topic for module 7 we have the reporter and journalism. So we've discussed several topics ahead, and this is module 7. So now we have the contents of the module, which entails journalism, the meaning of journalism, then the functions of the press, the reporter, we have the attributes of a reporter, we have gathering the news, and journalistic terminologies, where we'll be looking at different terminologies that is being used when we are talking about journalism. So now, first of all, we'll be addressing the introduction, and for the introduction we have the reporter. We will be looking at the reporter here, which says that the reporter sits at the heart of journalism. So that implies that we can't be talking about journalism and not make mention of the reporter. So, and acting as the bridge between events that shape society and the public that needs to understand them. So in a world where information travels faster than ever, the reporter's role is both a craft and a responsibility, a disciplined pursuit of truth that demands curiosity, rigor, and a keen sense of audience. So from the bustling newsroom of a daily newspaper to the digital studio of an online portal, reporters gather facts, verify sources, and construct narratives that inform and educate and sometimes provoke. So the work of reporters are guided by core principles: accuracy, fairness, independence, and accountability that remain constant even as the tools and platforms evolve. However, over the past century, journalism has expanded from ink-filled pages, that is from writing alone, and scheduled broadcasts to multimedia, where we have the visual parts, interactive experience that blend text, audio, video, and data visualizations. So now moving on, we have the meaning of journalism. Journalism originally meant writing for periodicals such as newspapers and magazines, but its definition has broadened. Today it encompasses any activities that gathers and spreads news and opinions, acting as a conduit for social awareness. Because of this expanded role, journalism carries ethical responsibilities and, in many cases, legal liabilities. Therefore, reporters must navigate a range of legal and moral challenges in the course of their work. So, advances in technology have also made the concept of journalism more complex. It is still about researching and delivering news, yet simply printing a story is no longer sufficient. That is, technology has made journalism more complex and more advanced in the sense that journalism isn't just about delivering news or researching about news alone. It has passed beyond printing a story, and it now includes multimodality and visualization part. Moving on to the functions of the press, we have the press has fourfold functions to perform, which are to inform. We are talking about the press. The main function of the press is to inform. This function refers to the collection and distribution of information concerning events in the environment, both outside and within a particular society. So simply put, this is the news function. So now we have another function to be to instruct. So the press also function as this function refers to the educational dimension, designing messages primarily to reach a target group. We have to entertain, where one of the functions of press is also to entertain. Messages are designed primarily to amuse and help readers to relax. So, and the last one, we have to merchandise. This is the selling function of the press. Messages are designed primarily to persuade the target group to purchase certain products, and that has to do with advertisements and all. So we'll be moving on to the reporter itself. Looking at the meaning of reporter. So now, in the performance of the above functions, so that is the functions that was mentioned initially, the central figure or personality that was going to do all those functions is the reporter, and he or she is in charge of documenting events as they unfold and is aptly described as the unseen historian. It is the reporter who goes out to get stories for the news and stories behind the news. So it is the reporter who generally attends press meetings, conferences, scenes of disasters or accidents, demonstrations, and other happenings or developments which either make or explain the news. And this definition is according to Alao 1992. So we have the attributes of a reporter. A reporter's effectiveness hinges on a blend of personal traits and professional skills, which are the major attributes of a reporter. Some of these attributes are nose for news. That is, a good reporter must have a nose for news, must be curious, always willing to know what's happening there. The WH question should be constantly asked by a reporter. So we have command of language. So a good reporter must have a good command of language. He must have a way of constructing good sentences and paragraphs. So specialization as another attribute of a reporter. So we have speed and accuracy as another attribute of a reporter. We have networking and contacts building as another attribute of a reporter. A good reporter must be able to network and build contracts, because you never can tell during the course of gathering stories. And we have versatility, ethical awareness, and so on. So gathering the news now. So the newsroom is the engine of a newspaper. That is, it is like the main room to which information gets across to the media, to the people, to the audiences. So now it is the engine of the newspaper, with the news editor or chief reporter steering the operation. They plan the days or week's coverage, brief reporters, monitor progress, edit stories, coordinate with photographers, handle queries, approve expenses, and keep the editor and chief sub-editor informed. While reporters still sit at desks, the clatter of typewriters has been replaced by the soft glow of computer screens and the quiet click of keyboards. Paper piles have given way to scrolling video displays, but the core tasks of gathering and crafting news remain unchanged. This is to make mention. So this is to remember us, to remind us about the dynamism and changes that we've had, and the growth that we've had over the years. When we are talking about gathering the news, it has moved from paper rustling together to where we have computers, where we have videos, video displays that now make it work easier for the reporters. But what doesn't change over the years is that it's all revolve around gathering and crafting news. So we have journalistic terminologies as another topic under this module. We have journalism terminologies. So journalism, like any other industry or profession, has cultivated its own specialized vocabulary. Over time, a number of ordinary words have been taken up by journalists and given new or altered meanings that are specific to news work only. So this linguistic shift occurs in both print and broadcast environments, where the same term can signify something quite different from its everyday usage. The result is a distinct jargon that helps reporters, editors, and producers communicate efficiently within the newsroom. Below is a list of some of the most commonly used terms and their particular journalistic meaning. We have across the board, which means that programs broadcast 7 days a week at the same time. We have AD, which means abbreviation for advertisements. We have ad, and that's additional news to be added to a news story. We have airtime, so the time at which a program is broadcast or is meant to broadcast. We have AM, which means amplitude modulation. We have background, information that may be used by a writer entirely on his own responsibility and cannot be attributed to a reliable source. So now, to conclude this, throughout this module, we have seen that the reporter is the linchpin of journalism, a disciplined seeker of truth who transforms raw events into the stories that shape public understanding. Whether operating in a bustling newsroom, a digital studio, or the field, the reporter must blend a sharp nose for news with mastery of language, speed, accuracy, and an unwavering commitment to objectivity and ethics. These core attributes, paired with technical proficiencies,